you're tired when you're just too damn tired to take off your yellow vest. Oh, sorry, I've been absent the last couple of weeks. It's been busy. I was home for a few days. I didn't get anything done. You drivers ever get home and then you have all these lists of things you want to do, and plus your wife's got her honey-do list, and you don't get hardly anything done. And I just got off a 34-hour reset over the weekend, and I just was pooped. I've been getting some pretty good miles. It's funny, here at ATS, it's not really the miles you get. We're not notorious for miles. They run you, it's 50 cents a mile, but you also get 23% of the load, whichever is greater. So I've been getting the 23% loads, and so you don't get a lot of miles, but you get good pay. I got I don't know, let's see, 800 miles run right now. It's paying over $600, so that's pretty good. Sometimes it's more than, I don't know what 23% of the load is, but I know it works out to be more than 50 cents a load. And this is like, gosh, I don't know. I'm too tired to do math. You can figure it out for me. Anyway, man, I tell you what, I've seen some crap over the last few weeks, so I just haven't been videotaping much. I can't wait till I get to be like Cash is King, where he's one of the guys I follow. If you don't follow him, you ought to. He's very entertaining, and he's very knowledgeable. He's a great guy. He's got a good community of followers, and his channel's gonna grow. He's an owner-operator, and he's over 1,000 subscribers. And when you're over 1,000 subscribers, you can go live, which is what I'm hoping to get to someday. So if you're not currently subscribed and you're watching this, please consider subscribing. I promise you'll get your money's worth, because it doesn't cost you anything. And I'd like to be able to get on more often. It'd be great to be able to interact, because when you do live, you can interact with the comments, and he does a good job of that. He's funny to watch. You definitely got to check him out, and just go ahead and subscribe to his channel, even if you don't like him. Because it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. But you do want to hit the bell so you get notifications whenever there's a new video. And I try to put one out once a week. This guy here puts them out. He puts 4 to 5 out a week, and it's fun to catch. I don't catch him all the time, but he'll put his live streams up afterwards, so you can catch him when you can. So that's good. That's a lot of fun. I don't know, maybe it's this election that's wearing me out. I'm not going to get into politics, but all I can say about this is this crap's wearing me out. At the end of the day, I don't care whether you voted for Trump or Biden. The way this election's being run, this ain't the way it's supposed to run. It's a mess. So I'm heading on my way up to New York, going right by Planet Jersey. And I actually have a shout out to new subscribers too, by the way. Thank you for subscribing. I have a new guy that's been following me. We've been corresponding back and forth. He's from Australia, which is cool. And he's in his 60s. I'm almost there in my 60s. And he always tells me, Gary is his name. And shout out to you, Gary, if you're watching. He always tells me a story about when he was growing up, about either a kangaroo or I think he had a parrot when he was growing up, or some sort of bird. And he's very comical. So I enjoy corresponding with a lot of the subscribers. So if you ever want to shoot me up or hit me up, kangarootrucker@gmail.com, feel free. And also another shout out to Ed. Ed is he's a new guy with Knight, and he got one of his first loads from California. He's heading up to Planet Jersey, so he reached out to me, and I trip planned with him a little bit and looked at where he was going. It didn't look too bad. Planet Jersey overall is not terrible. It's just inside the city limits of Jersey City is the roughest place to deal with. You know, and the thing is anytime you're up in the Northeast Coast, up in that area, anything near the 5 boroughs, you're just not going to make good miles because you can't go very fast and you're in a lot of traffic, and it's just not typically a very pleasant place to be. From what I understand, there's a lot of weather fixing to come upon. So I got to get this load here. I went about as far as I wanted to go today. Whew, I'm beat. I went about as far as I wanted to go today. I did about 8.5 hours, and I wanted to get a good place to shut down so I can get up early and run, so I can get around Baltimore, Washington, work my way up to, I got to go around Scranton, and then work my way up to Nichols, New York. Is the Best Buy up there. So they got a nice little truck stop right across the street from them. I'll have about 3 hours left on my clock, and that should get me to where I can at least pick up my next load, hopefully. So we'll see. But ATS been treating me pretty good. I think, you know, that's kind of the key, isn't it? You know, I've been with 3 companies in the last couple of years, and you know, when you have problems, and you're gonna have problems, any truck driver is gonna tell you that, and there are multiple problems every day. You are constantly problem solving or getting screwed by one thing or another. And like just recently, I had my my Thermo King tri-pack that operates my APU unit. It was making a squeaking sound. I had a little bit of extra time on me, so I went in, and you know, when you go into Thermo King or anywhere, you're gonna have 3 hours just for them to figure out what's going on. And then he's like, yeah, you just need a belt. It'll stop squeaking or whatever. And I said, okay, cool. So I go about 150 miles, shut down for the day. Doesn't come on. I call him. I go, why isn't it coming on? He goes, well, the button's on right. So I checked. Yeah, I mean, everything seemed to be fine. I said, look, I ain't looking to cause any problems. It's just it worked. Even with the squealing, it worked when I got there, and now it don't work. So something happened. It's kind of too coincidental that I went to see you and now it don't work. So for 4 days, I was fortunate. I didn't need the air conditioner because it's been pretty cool at night. But I'll tell you what, man, open up the windows at these truck stops. Yeah, you might get a cool breeze in there, but it doesn't. They don't charge extra for that aroma that comes through the window. Oof. I think I've smelled about as much urine as I'm interested in smelling. Anyway, so I dealt with that for about 4 days, and I got done with my 34-hour, and I went back to Thermo King, and a different one. And I said, I don't know, no power to it, need it fixed. I figured I would just be general and let them figure it out. He came back on, he said, yeah, he says your belt was just not on right, so you're all good to go. 3 hours later. And I was like, son of a gun, that guy. So that started my day later, so I didn't get to shut down last night until 9 p.m. I stayed up at that Petro in Raffine off 81. It's got 725 spots, and that's a good one. That's a keeper right there, let me tell you. Because 9 o'clock at night, there was still plenty of parking way in the back, but I didn't care. And the weather was nice, so I'll walk in and grab something to eat, walk out. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I'm gonna go up there. I'm anxious to get off the East Coast. I'll tell you what, though, I did have one load I wanted to tell you. I think I met Who-ville. I went to this place, and my Garmin was telling me, you know, Mayday, 65-foot truck length. I'm like, 65 foot? I go, I only got a 53-foot trailer, so I don't know what that's all about. Well, apparently, a day cab and a 53-foot trailer are roughly 65 feet. I'm not in a day cab. I'm in a full cab, or sleeper, as they call it. And now I know why. It was not easy to get in with the way the road was constructed for that vehicle. So I got in, and then I got there right at 5 o'clock. I had about an hour and a half left on my clock, and I knew I was going to take, it's a live unload. And I said, all right, I'm here. And he says, what do you got? And I figured, I don't know, I kind of felt like saying, what's it matter? You got to take it off anyway. But I said, I got a 5 o'clock load. Oh, 5 o'clock, no. I said, well, it's 5 o'clock. I'm here on time. He said, yeah, I can't take you for a couple hours. He said, we're full. I go, well, I'm here. What do you want me to do? I go, I don't have 2 hours on my clock to sit around, so can I shut down right here? And he says, yeah. So I go in and check in at 4 o'clock in the morning and open the door, and Who-ville is happening. There are things above going across on conveyor belts in different types of shapes, and there's people driving little carts with little buggies following them, and different hairdos and different, I mean, it was like, what in the heck is going on? And nobody seemed to know, and that scared me. I'm sure they were organizing their own little world, but coming in and seeing this for the first time, I'm like, wow. And it turned out I was at the United States Post Office in Newport News area, and they had to work me in. They had such a tight schedule. I mean, there were trucks coming and going. I mean, they were honking. I felt like I was in when I was in the Navy in Korea. They really communicated in their vehicles by honking their horn a lot, and that just reminded me of that. I mean, you had to get in your spot and get out of your spot, get in the way. You were in the way no matter where you were, and people were trying to maneuver. And I walked in, they said, go in door 33. I went in 33. A guy came up and said, hey, you're in my door. I'm like, well, that's what they told me. And he goes, well, let's go find out. I'm like, what does that mean? So I go in, and the lady's like, oh, yeah, okay, well, go ahead and move out. Put you over in 40. I was like, why don't you put him in 40? I'm already in 33. Well, long story short, I got unloaded and all, but it was just a nightmare. So I prefer never to go back there again, but if I do, at least I know what route not to take. And that's the thing, man. Trip planning cannot be underestimated. It cannot be underestimated. I am not kidding you. So I also saw a truck. Okay, I wish I had the energy to draw it out on my little whiteboard for you, but just picture this. I'm in the right lane, as I almost always am, because I can only go 65 miles an hour, and I usually run about 63. I'll let people pass me because I can't pass anybody anyway. So I'm going, and then a Dollar General guy comes passing me. He's able to do 70 easily. He's passing me. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And it's funny. This is why I found out now why people, well, I don't know why the four-wheelers feel like they have to do it, where, you know, when they're going to pass you, they just have to get barely in front of your truck, and then they come in with or without a turn signal. They just come in, and, you know, you go from a 5-second safety distance to nothing in no time. But then most trucks, I hate to say it, most trucks are, you're lucky if you get a 1 second and then they're in front of you. But I have a lot of experiences because I get passed a lot. So, but this guy was pretty cool. He was gonna give me a good 3 seconds, and he goes forward, he passes me, and then before he could even put his turn signal on, this white pickup truck comes past me and then decides he's gonna be smart and go past the Dollar General on the right. And then the Dollar General had put his turn signal on and commences to coming over. And, you know, that guy must have been in his blind spot or something. Oh, and to top it off, there was a wall of barricades on the left and a wall of barricades on the right. And when I say barricades, I mean the concrete stone wall barricades. So there was no shoulder on the left or the right. And I'm watching this right in front of me. I don't have a dash cam. But this little white truck started to get squeezed. That trailer was coming over, and you saw the blue smoke from the truck trying to stop before. He didn't quite stop enough, and then there was a boom, 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 where he just kind of ricocheted between the wall and the trailer a couple times. And, you know, by then I had a good 5 seconds between that crap going on and where I was. And I'm just watching this like, oh my God. I mean, that guy, crazy. So then he goes around and he goes up to, you know, to communicate to the driver, you need to pull over. There's nowhere to pull over. There's barricades for, that's a couple miles. So the truck gets behind the Dollar General, and I just kind of thought, you know what, I'm going to pull over when they pull over, and I'm going to vouch for that driver, because I don't think that was really his fault. He was already coming into the lane while that guy was trying to pass him, and then he got caught up in it. So I don't personally think it was that driver's fault. Well, long story short, he goes up, he keeps going, the truck pulls off, and then when it does finally open up, and the Dollar General guy just kept on going, and the guy got out, and I honked my horn to the guy in the pickup truck and gave him a thumbs up, like, you idiot. So he was probably just trying to check out his damage, and he probably called it into his insurance and said it was a semi truck hit and run, or I didn't get their tag and all. I don't know what he said, but I'll tell you what, man. You just, every day it's something with the four-wheelers or even the trucks. I mean, I hate to say it, but some of these trucks, man, I don't know. The speed limit is definitely optional. I mean, they're a suggested speed limit for a lot of these drivers on here. I don't get it. I guess I don't know what it's like to be able to speed, so I guess I can't say. Anyway, guys, just checking in. Nothing exciting going on. Just anxious to get through the winter, and so far it's been pretty nice. It'll be winter soon. I've already seen some snow out of Pennsylvania, so it's out there. It's supposed to snow up in Minnesota this tomorrow or tonight. So you guys be careful, be safe. I'll talk to you. I'm gonna do a video on Trucker Path. I've got some tips that I want to do, but I'm gonna do that as a separate one in case somebody is just looking for Trucker Path. So it'll be just kind of a tutorial. It won't be a lot of chatting going on. So I just wanted to catch up with you guys real quick. So I'm out of here. Have a good night.